All right, we are going to go ahead and get started for the evening. Thank you everyone for being here. This is our final monthly meeting, normal monthly meeting of the year. So looking forward to giving everyone updates about where we are, talking about our upcoming potluck, and just wishing everyone well for the year until we get to see each other again in January for a meeting anyway. So I'll jump right in. Just welcome if this is the first time you're joining us. We do ask that you stay muted unless you're presenting or asking a question, just so there's no feedback for folks who are speaking. If you do have questions or have anything to ask, don't worry, we will open the floor for questions. And at the end, we'll also just open the floor if anyone has anything they'd like to share. Other than that, we're going to bump our treasurer's report down a little bit. We would normally start there. I will share in chat the agenda in case anybody wants to follow along that way. Otherwise, our treasurer is running a little behind, and when he joins us later this evening, he will provide those updates for essentially the end of year, and then there will be more next year, of course. One more thing before we get started. So if you are a current member of the MVA, I want to basically call a motion. We have 2 items tonight that will require voting. The first is our zoning variance presentation. There's 4 items on that ballot. And the second is our annual MVA board elections. So if there is no opposition, we will do voting in the same manner we did at last month's meeting. We have virtual ballots prepared for those. We'll share links. The links are also on the website so that everyone can access them. And we'll provide several minutes for folks to be able to submit your votes virtually rather than asking everyone individually to call them out over Zoom. So just call that motion and ask if there is anyone opposed to voting in that manner this evening. Okay. Sounds like we're okay. Then that is how we will proceed with voting. So without further ado, I will turn the floor over to our zoning chair, Tate Wooding, to introduce to you the zoning variance application we are hearing tonight. We'll have a 3-part presentation. The first 5 minutes, we'll ask the developer and applicant to present about the project and the variances they're requesting. For the second 5 minutes, folks will have an opportunity to ask questions, which Tate will document on the screen in a Word document. And we won't have those answered until the last portion, where we'll have all of the questions documented and ask the applicant to answer them all at the same time. So, Tate, all yours.
All right, thank you so much, Jess. We only have one this evening to go over. It's 1295 City Park Ave. As Jess mentioned, we're going to have 5 minutes for the presentation, so we'll start with that portion. I see a couple of people with the property, I believe Andrew Wappner. I don't know if you're the one presenting, but
yes,
you guys can go ahead. Perfect. You guys can go ahead. You have the floor. If you need to share your screen, you can go ahead and do that.
yeah, sure. All right, do you see is the site plan up on screen?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I want to make sure everyone can hear me as well. All right, so this application is located at 1295 City Park. This is the site it's just a like a block north of Moeller on City Park. The site used to have an alley that ran on the south side of the site that it was at one point abandoned, and half of the alley went to the northern parcel, which is our site, and half the alley went to the southern parcel. So while the alley remains a curb cut and is used as a driveway, it's no longer a public alley and is now part of the private property. The parcel was a rather large parcel. It's approximately 78 feet. Most of the other parcels to the north, to the south, there's a larger apartment building that's on a larger parcel. All the single family parcels to the north are in the, hold on, I've got the zoning pulled up. They are around 35 to 40 feet. So what we're trying to do, this is an existing residential house. We're looking to renovate that, then split the parcel and build a new house with, the new house will utilize the existing garage, We're actually currently building a garage for the existing residents. That garage didn't need any zoning variances, and so we just applied for a building permit to build the garage. So that part is moving forward. So the existing house will have a new garage. The new house will utilize the existing garage. And so the zoning variances are, the City of Columbus zoning code requires 50-foot lots. That doesn't really comply with any of the urban neighborhoods. So that's a pretty standard variance to ask for. In combination with that is a variance for lot area. And then the other variance we're asking for is to not have a tree on the northern parcel, because there is a street tree right here in the tree lawn that has a rather large canopy. And it seems odd to us to have a tree growing under a tree, and it's probably never going to live anyway. So because of that tree, we don't want to put another tree kind of under its canopy. And I can pull up Street View if anyone's interested, or anything else about the property if people have any questions.
You, Andrew. Okay, well, let's do this. Tate will take over the screen share to have the variances up and document the questions. And then if any folks do have questions and would like to see the street view, we can have you display that during the answer portion, if that sounds good. Perfect. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stop your share. Tate, you can take that over. And then if anyone has any questions, you can use the hand raise feature in Zoom if you're familiar with that. Otherwise, if not, once Tate has the document up on the screen, you can also unmute yourself and just feel free to ask. So, let's see here. All right. So no hands raised yet. I do see a question in chat. Do you have an example photo of the tree under a tree issue for reference? So we'll document that one, and that'll be first up in the answer period. Any other questions? Okay.
I actually have a question.
Go for it.
Perfect. So sorry, I couldn't find my unmute for a second. Also, I do want to say thank you for everyone that types your questions in. It helps me a lot, so I appreciate that. My question here is, there's actually another variance happening to the next property that we already approved, I believe two meetings ago. I can double check, but do you know if that's going to run coincidental, or is there going to be any issues with those two variances? I know the other one had some pretty significant construction as well. Is there going to be an issue, or did you know of the other variance?
I don't know what the other variance is that was approved that you're referring to that would cause us an issue.
Okay, I don't think there'd be any issues. I just didn't know if there was any, if you were aware of that, or.
We're aware that the adjacent property owner is looking to build a house on the front part of their parcel, because their house is on the existing house is on the rear part of the parcel. Okay. I'm not sure what variances they needed for that. Okay.
And I'm sorry, I broke my own rules of answering the questions there. So sorry, do we have any other questions before we go ahead in the answer portion?
Okay, nothing on my end. So we will turn the floor back over to Andrew. And Andrew, if you want to bring up any screen shares, please feel free. But otherwise, there's just one other question, and that was the first one asked.
I think you maybe have to stop sharing.
It's one moment. Go ahead and end your share, Tate, just for now. We can bring that back up for voting. Okay.
All right, so this is the Google Street View up?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the alley that was abandoned. This is the property to the south that we were just talking about that has another project going on. Our parcel consists of this house right here, this garage back here, and this fenced in yard, and then half of this driveway is our property.
And that was the variance I was talking about, Andrew.
Yeah, what I guess, let me address the tree, and then we'll come back to your question about the variances.
That's fine, yeah.
So this is this right here is the large tree in front of the house. And our concern is that planting another tree underneath, kind of in this small landscape bed, it isn't really going to live. It's not going to get that much water because it's kind of under the canopy of another tree.
I'm also kind of breaking our own rules. But Andrew, so the trees that we can see on the other portion of the lot, that pine tree up front, and then there's a very large tree in the back, which I think is on your lot. Are those remaining?
So this pine tree will come out.
Okay.
It needs to come out to build the house. We will plant a new tree on this parcel. We're not asking for a variance on this parcel. We can easily accommodate a tree on that one. Some of the trees may come out. It's likely that this one will come out. This one looks like it's all chopped up from like a power company or something at one point, and building a house is likely going to damage its root system anyway. So that tree will come out. There are some other, I think this other large tree that looks like it's in good shape, I believe that's in the yard of the existing house and would stay.
Thank you for that. Okay, well, those were the only questions we had. Was there something else you needed to touch on with Tate? I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
Tate had mentioned that there were some variances on this property. I don't know what they are to know if they impact what we're doing or not, if you can share that.
I can. Give me one moment.
And folks, if you are joining us through Zoom app or the web, I did go ahead and post the link for voting in the chat, so you can feel free to vote if you are already decided. If not, we will certainly give some time to vote once we wrap up the presentation. I do see another question that just popped into chat asking why the tree can't go into the backyard. I believe that would be probably of the new lot that's having the new residence built is the question.
Well, the city requirement is for a tree in the front yard. So if you're not doing a tree in the front yard, you have to ask for a zoning variance for that. So we are going to put a tree on the new lot and don't need a variance. The existing house that doesn't have a tree and instead has a street tree, that's why the street tree is the only thing that's kind of preventing us from planting a tree up against the house.
And it does sound as though you believe that the tree that is currently in the backyard of the lot you're asking for the variance on will remain. Is that correct?
Yes, my
Okay.
understanding is that tree will remain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. As you can tell, we're very passionate about trees here in Merion Village. So
yeah,
we appreciate, we appreciate your responses.
Andrew, are we done looking at the pictures of the trees? Because I can share my
Yes.
screen and just
Sure.
and then I can go back to the one that we're actually talking about. But this is the 1305, and the reason why I noticed is because I thought I did the wrong address, because I was like, I know I hit this street before, so I had to double check myself that I wasn't doing the wrong variant here. So that it was just the next property, 1305, the one that you mentioned, the white house there, and they're doing several I would say significant variants. These were approved. They were all approved here, I believe, at our in our May meeting, so a few months ago. But this is what the variances are. I didn't think there would be an issue. I just wanted you to be aware that it was the property next door, and I just want to make sure that there was no conflicts.
The first ones are all pretty standard. A lot of those look like they are to conform the existing house. Number 5 is a bit odd. I don't know if the building department will take issue on that from a fire standpoint, but because I don't know if they're planning to build in the driveway. We believe that driveway is kind of a shared driveway. So I don't know which side of their parcel they're looking to reduce the side clearance on. But because we're not building up to our property line, from our standpoint, that's not an issue with building code and fire separations.
Okay.
The encroachment, a 5-foot encroachment of a 6-inch tall wall into, oh, they need to have, that's probably like the existing house on ours has a small retaining wall due to the slope.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you don't think they'll be?
I don't think that those are of concern. I'm interested where the side yard setback variance is. I don't know if you have the site plan, but
I do somewhere. I can share that with you after the meeting. I don't know if it's necessary
sure.
here because I do want to move the meeting forward. But if you like, I can share that with you.
Yeah, I would appreciate it just so we're aware
Sure.
if it's gonna be really close to our proposed house, that we're not asking for any sort of side yard variances or anything like that on ours.
I'll email it to you after this portion of the meeting.
All right.
And I think we can move over to voting best unless there's any other questions.
I don't see any more questions in chat, no hands raised, so it looks like that was it. So Tate does have the variances displayed on the screen so that everyone is able to vote, and we will be able to move forward. It looks like we've gotten about 5 votes so far, so I'm just going to give everyone a couple more minutes just to get your votes in. And if for some reason you were unable to vote, if you had any issues, let me know. If you're calling in tonight, you can also access the link to the voting from our homepage, merionvillage.org. Just scroll to the bottom and tap the link for voting at the meetings.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, looks like we've got 10 responses in. We will, of course, go through the process of verifying membership for everything before we pass these over to the area commission. But in general, it looks like we've got most of our votes in. So I will go ahead. Is there anyone here who has not yet voted? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and disable the ballot and give the final vote counts. All right, so we had a total of 5 items. On item 1, which is the, well, you can see this on the screen. On item 1, we had 10 support, 1 abstention. Item 2, 10 support, 1 abstention. Item 3, 8 support and 3 abstentions. Item 4, 10 support, 1 abstention. And item 5, 10 support and 1 abstention. So each of those requests does pass our recommendation process. All right, thank you.
Thank you,
Everyone
Jess.
voting, absolutely. And Andrew,
Thank you,
thank you
Andrew.
for being here.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, folks, we will move on to our next item, which is the, and well, actually, before I move on to the next item on the agenda, let me just take, we talked about this as the meeting was beginning. You were notified that there's going to be an application in a nearby, one of our nearby neighbor residences, so not in Merion Village, so we won't have a meeting. Did you just want to share any information about that?
Yes, and we can talk about this if we're doing the committees as well. But because we also have a special meeting next week. And Jess, thank you for sharing that email on our members. You should see that in your email. So pay attention to that. Hopefully you can come and join us on our special meeting and that one's with the 2025 South High Street Merion that we're going to be doing basically the same process that we just did tonight, but as a special meeting too, because it is a quite large project over there. It also kind of neighbors Steelton there and a few other neighborhoods. This zoning variance, as just mentioned, is not in Merion Village, and I'm pulling up now, but it is also kind of related to that project. So we just wanted to be aware of that. Make sure you guys are aware of it. It is 2140 South High Street. So it is that Steelton Village area, and I can share the application if we need here.
I did go ahead and put into chat. If you're interested in attending that special meeting, which is next Wednesday, you can get the link on our website, but I also posted it into chat. As Tate mentioned, it will be because of the size, the scale of the project. And we have, of course, also invited our neighbors from Reeve Hosak and Hungarian Village to join in the discussion at that meeting just because of the proximity of the development. So this is, again, not part of the exact same application, but it is kind of related to the overall project, which is expected to last many years and will cover a significant area.
And I'm sharing my screen of, are you guys able to see the application?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. And this is the meat of it. This is the variances that they will be applying for at that meeting. Any questions, comments, concerns on that? All right, let's stop sharing.
Thank you, Tate. Okay, so that is the next item on the agenda, just to let everyone know about the special meeting we have next week. If you're a member, you already received notice of that. We hope you'll join us if you're interested in that project. That meeting will be scheduled to last 1 hour from 7 to 8 p.m. And our format will likely be more of an open floor. We'll, of course, give more time for the presentation portion simply because it is such a large project. And then we will ask folks to ask questions. We'll probably do an ask and answer just because I expect there to be more questions just because of the scope of the project. So hope everyone can join us for that. This is our last monthly meeting of the year, but that will be our last meeting of the year in total. So in that meeting, we'll only focus on the zoning application for 2025 South High Street. So again, registration link is in chat if you're interested in attending that. All right, we are going to move on to our next item, which is our Merion Village board elections for 2022. So we have a total of 3 positions up for election this year: president, vice president, and member at large. Both president and vice president will serve 2-year terms, and member at large will serve a 1-year term. Your nominees for those roles are me, Jess Norman, as president, our current vice president, Lauren Larrick, as vice president, and our current member at large, David Hoyt, as member at large. So again, I'm going to go ahead and post the ballot for the election into chat, so feel free to jump in and cast your votes. We are all running unopposed, so your options are to support, oppose, or abstain from each of the positions. So we'll just give everyone a few moments to do that, and while we are, we'll also each just say a quick hello if this is the first time you're joining a meeting. So I'm Jess. I was born and raised here in the South Side, and I have been living in Merion Village with my husband since 2013. Had to remind myself of when that was. I've been on the board in different roles since 2014 and looking forward to hopefully coming back as your president for another term. So Lauren or David, if you want to jump in and say hello as well.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lauren Larrick. I live on Moeller, like Jess, with my husband, Mike, who is the chair of our social committee. We have 2 dogs, 2 cats. We've been here for 5 years this past October. So, yeah, we love it here. No plans to leave. And I don't know, I know Freebus is getting its street redone. Moeller is getting its street redone. So, woo!
I'm David. I just moved here last summer, so I guess I've been here for like 15 months now or so, but it's great here. Happy to be here. Happy to be on the board. That's about it.
Thank you both. All right, let's see how many votes we have in for the election. Looks like we're up to 10. So I will go ahead. Has anyone not yet voted and would like me to hold off?
Wait, I'm just submitting it now. Hold on.
Okay.
If I don't get to vote for myself, I'll be very sad. Hold on. It says submitted.
All right, then I'm going to go ahead and disable the ballot. And our results are in. We have 11 votes in support of all 3 positions, none opposed and no abstentions. So thank you everyone for voting for us. We all appreciate your votes and your confidence and support. We hope to serve you very well. So thank you very much. All right, we will move on to our next item here. let's talk about our potluck. So if you're newer to the neighborhood, there's a good chance you've never attended one of our potlucks. But what we do is in December, we do not hold a monthly meeting. Instead, we hold a potluck at one of our local establishments here in the neighborhood. Come together, get together with our neighbors that maybe we don't see as many times as we'd like to during the year. And of course, that event has been on hold for the last couple of years. We are very excited to say that we are back this year, and we will be hosted for the first time by Rumors. Rumors is located on Parsons, at the corner of Parsons and Stewart, right next to the library, basically. If you haven't been to Rumors, you will notice a big, beautiful mural on the side of their building that faces the library, which we helped to commission and have installed just this past, I guess, spring, summer time. So this is going to be a great chance to check out Rumors for the first time if you've never seen it. Have a new opportunity for a host who's never hosted us before for this event, and also see the mural. So we're very excited. We hope everyone will join us. It's going to be a little different this year. We actually typically have done this event in the evening before, but we did ask folks, when people would be most available to attend. There are, of course, holiday parties and lots going on this time of year. And the winning time was Saturday, December 10th from 2 to 4 p.m. So kind of a late lunch, early dinner, which we hope will make it easier for everyone to attend. This is a family-friendly event, so Rumors is a bar, and they will certainly be serving alcohol to folks who are 21 and older. But we do encourage you to bring your kids along. It's a great time for everyone. We're hoping to have some fun things to do during the event. They're looking forward to hosting us, and it's always a really good time. I did post a link in chat to our potluck sign up. You don't have to sign up, but we do appreciate if you're going to bring a dish, if you can, just so we can make sure we've got a good variety of things for folks. Anyone here who has attended the event before, I'm sure you know that it is certainly one of our favorites, because it's just a good time to get to speak to folks and reconnect. But if you've never gotten to attend, please do. I highly encourage you to join us. I think you'll have a wonderful time. So one moment, please. There we go. All right, so that's coming up. Please don't miss out. We're really hoping to see you all there. Okay. Gonna move. Oh, Eric's here. Eric, are you ready for treasurer reports?
Hey, yes, I can do that.
Awesome. Okay, well, Eric has excellent timing. Eric loves the potluck, and Eric makes a phenomenal dish that I hope to see at the potluck, or he knows I'll be very upset. So
I will be bringing it.
Thank you.
It's also in the Merion Village cookbook. I did share it with everybody last, or whenever we did the cookbook. So,
but it's not the same if you don't make it. So,
well, thank you.
All right. Well, Eric, the floor is yours.
All right, let me figure out how to do this again.
Jess, you didn't say what the dish is that is so good.
Oh, I'm sorry, everyone. It's corn casserole, and it's just really good. I can't explain it. I know that everybody's got their own recipe, but this is the one. This is the best. But of course, I shouldn't have told everyone, because now there's going to be competition for it. So.
Well, we're a fan of healthy competition here.
We
That's
are.
right.
It's true. That's true.
That's right. Says the lady who is
One
like cutthroat about the chili cook-off. Okay, can you see my screen, Jess, everybody?
Sure can.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so this is the balance sheet for the end of October. A couple things to call out here. You can see our checking account has gone up quite a bit. That was largely due in part to the petty cash deposit that I made from the festival. So we'll go through that in a little bit more detail. And then the other thing to note here is the scholarship fund is down because we actually issued the final check of the scholarship. So we've drained that fund, and we'll look to replenish that next year. Speaking of the chili cook-off, and through other fundraising activities. So that's the biggest things to call out in the balance sheet. Any questions? Okay. Moving on to the income statement. You can see we still continue to get a good number of residential memberships. I believe the reminders have gone out, so that's always fueling a lot of the resurgency that we have. The business memberships still getting we just got a bronze membership, so that's what you see there. The $3,000 summer festival income, that's related, that's the petty cash deposit that I made off of the festival. The other miscellaneous $17, interesting enough, in petty cash, we had $17 of damaged currency. So it was like currency that was all ripped, or some of it was missing parts of the bills or whatever. And I had been saving it for a while. So I finally took it to the bank, and surprisingly, there was actually $17 in it. So, and they gave us credit for all of it. I didn't think we would actually, some of those bills would make it. So anyways, that's our income for the month of October. For expenses, you can see we have our usual rent and utilities. We had a little bit of Facebook marketing. We had a renewal of one of our technology applications, services that we use. The grant expense was for the scholarship final disbursement that we had given back in the summer. And then we had a couple other personal reimbursements that we made to members of the festival committee that had submitted their receipts. And I finally got around to doing that in October. So thank you to all those people for being flexible with me. Which brings us actually for the year to a net income position, which we normally have not had in the last couple of years since the festival. So great news there. So any questions on the income statement? All right. Thank you, Jess. I will turn it back over to you.
Thank you so much. All right, so that is great news. And of course, we'll have some end of the year reports for everyone at our January meeting, just to kind of recap everything for whatever happens in December. So Eric, as always, thank you for your very detailed reports. Okay, guys, let's talk briefly here about our neighborhood survey. I'm putting a link in chat to that right now. If you have not seen, we are circulating a survey to everyone. If you live or work in Merion Village, we want to hear from you. We want your opinions on, where we should be focusing in the coming year and beyond, where you think we're currently most effective or where we maybe aren't as effective, how visible we are in the neighborhood. Just in general, want folks' feedback to, help direct the organization and what we're going to be doing here in our neighborhood over the next 12 months and beyond. That will close November 30th, which will give us an opportunity to kind of put all those results together. The board will then review them at our board meeting in early December, and then we'll put together a summary to share with folks at the January meeting so that we can put the feedback that we receive into action and start talking to everyone about what that will mean for the coming year. So again, if you've not taken the time to complete that yet, we certainly hope you will. Depending on how detailed you want to be in your responses, you can complete the survey in 5 to 10 minutes easily. And again, that feedback is huge for us. You can complete it anonymously if you choose, no problem at all. But if you would like to volunteer with us or you'd like to have a specific question answered, you can also include your name and email address so that we can reconnect with you directly once the survey closes at the end of the month. So any questions about the survey? I'm not sure. I'm sure some folks here have probably taken it, but any questions about that? Okay, great. Please do share it if you have neighbors and friends who live in the neighborhood. We want to make sure that as many people as possible do see it and have an opportunity to respond. All right, we'll look here at our committee updates. Nothing for beautification. Again, this committee is looking for a new chair and new members. It'd be a great thing to get started here at the end of the year so that come next spring, a new project could take place. If you're interested in that, please let us know. We would love to have you come on board and help with that committee. Nothing new for membership, just a reminder that you can renew for the coming year if you have not yet done so. We will, of course, send reminders because we all get busy and sometimes it's hard to remember, but you can now renew for the next year. So you heard from Tate earlier on zoning, so you know what's going on there. We've got our special meeting next week, and then we'll try to share other information on our website about the projects the fort might be doing that are not inside of Merion Village, just to keep folks informed. Mike, are we doing a social this month or not because of the potluck? I actually should have asked Lauren, is Mike with you this evening?
I am here.
Hi, Mike.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe we would just keep it casual and try to do like 8 and Sand this month. And I'm just pulling up my calendar on what day that is. 1 second.
Probably
seven-
Thanksgiving. Is it Thanksgiving week?
No, it's the 17th, so it's the week
Oh,
before.
okay. Perfect.
There's a slight chance that I might be traveling for work, but otherwise, if I'm not, I will be there. And they have probably my favorite chicken sandwich in the city. So I highly recommend joining us or just going there any other time and trying that if you have not. So hope to see you there. And well, hopefully I can be there, but otherwise, if I can't, we've had pretty good turnout the past couple happy hours, actually. So I've been happy with that. So hopefully we can keep that going. And then obviously December, we won't have one because we'll have the potluck.
Awesome. Thank you for continuing to organize those, Mike. I know everybody really enjoys them. So everyone, hope you can attend this month. And then, of course, we'll be back probably. I won't speak for Mike, but we'll probably be back for more in January. Okay, let's look here. I don't think we have any commissioners with us this evening, so we will skip over the Southside Area Commission updates. I'll just touch on some of the events that are coming up. So of course, we have our special meeting next Wednesday from 7 to 8 p.m. That will be held virtually. You can register on our website or in the link I posted earlier in chat. The Southside Area Commission is back to the Parsons Library for their monthly meetings, which are held the fourth Tuesday. So that's on November 22nd from 6:30 to 8 p.m. We, of course, have the potluck on December 10th from 2 to 4 at Rumors. And then our next monthly meeting will be Wednesday, January 4th, also over Zoom, and we'll, of course, publish that as that date approaches. Otherwise, I will open the floor. Anyone have anything they'd like to share before we adjourn? I see some new names, so if anybody wants to introduce themselves to the group, please feel free to do so. We always love to say hi to new faces. But if you've got anything you'd like to share, since this is our last meeting, regular meeting of the year, Steve, yes, go for it.
Yeah, hey y'all. You can see I'm in my kitchen making my wife's birthday cake. I just wanted to give a reminder about the midterm elections that are this coming Tuesday. So early vote is open every day until then, and then polls are open from 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. On Tuesday. I will throw out there that I think that issue 1 is a really bad idea for anyone who follows the cash bail system. So feel free to drop me a line if you want like the hot take on that or some other information on how that whole thing works. I'll put my email in the chat here for anyone that wants to have that conversation. But just want to send out a friendly election reminder, everyone, happy voting.
Thank you very much for that. Anyone else have anything they'd like to share, or anyone would like to introduce themselves or say hello? No pressure, but we do love to meet you. Eric might pressure you. I won't.
I mean, I can start calling on people.
I would never have become a member at large if Eric had not pressured me to speak
point.
at the first meeting I went to. So you never know what it could lead to.
You're not wrong. It works. The pressure does work. Okay.
Hi, this
Sorry,
is
my
Randall
dog's-
Phillips. I have a quick question, just
Yeah.
in general. I didn't ask it during the treasurer portion, but I still have a decent amount of cash in our banking accounts. With interest rates going up, are you caring about where you place that cash? Just curious.
It's a great question. We historically have not cared because the rates were so low, but now that they're going up and that we've recovered, I think, a large portion of what we were down because of the pandemic, we can definitely look into, if we want to do a CD or something a little bit, stable. But it's a good question. We can definitely bring that up to the board in our next meeting.
Yep. No opinions. I was just curious. That's all. Thank you.
No,
Yeah,
it's a great
it's
question.
good problem to have, right?
Right.
So-
It's the first time we've really been able to think about that. So it's a great thing to bring up. Thank you. Okay. Anyone else want to say hello or share anything before we adjourn for the evening? Okay. Thank you all so much for being here. We really appreciate you. Again, don't miss our special meeting next week. And most importantly, we really hope to see everyone at the potluck. It's a very casual event, so it's a great opportunity to come in and meet folks, especially if you're newer to the area. We're really looking forward to seeing everyone. And otherwise, I hope everyone has safe and happy holiday season and a happy new year. Can't believe it's time to say that, but we're getting close. So thanks again, everyone. Have a wonderful evening.
Bye. Thanks, Jess. Bye, everybody.
Right there.